Hey everybody, welcome to today's video, where today we are back at the sushi by very popular request. I would in fact think of recent in regards to any of these reviews or restaurant challenges, etc. People are like, sushi. So here we are. So we are at the Kyoto House, which is in downtown Toronto. It's on Dundas Street. In fact, it's only about 2 blocks away from Yonge and Dundas Square, which, if you're not familiar with Toronto or the surrounding area, is one of the most popular and well-known areas, monuments, sightseeing, whatever we want to call that. So I'm here with my good friend, Mr. George Chigger, also known as the Smorgasbord. So he and a few other gentlemen and ladies were in town for the Smokes Poutine eating contest. So it was the day before the contest, so we decided, let's go get some sushi. So went to the Kyoto House because, like I said, right, nice downtown location. And in fact, this is the cheapest all-you-can-eat sushi in Toronto. I was there when the lunch was $14.99. Now I believe it's $15.99. However, their dinner is only $24. So for $24, all-you-can-eat sushi, making it the cheapest all-you-can-eat in Toronto.
No, this is the dragon. Delicious. Look at that. That's your dragon and your rainbow roll? Yeah. So the chef's like, you don't use, soy sauce or nothing. Like, no, it's not worth it. I want to taste the food.
Yeah. It is, it does,
So for our opening rounds, we started with the white tuna and the salmon sashimi. There you go, everybody. Everybody always says my pronunciation, so sashimi, which was absolutely delicious. The pieces were a reasonable thickness. They were quite small, like in length. That being said, I mean, you can order as many as you want. So I believe me and George ordered about 20 or 25 of the white tuna and the salmon to start. And then, as you saw here, we just got all our rolls. George had a rainbow roll and a dragon roll. I ordered a series of both spicy salmon rolls. There was, I believe, some spicy crispy salmon rolls, which is, I believe, that thing right there. We then had some eel rolls. I did order some white tuna rolls, spicy white tuna rolls, but we actually didn't get them. But that being said, the spicy salmon roll is definitely one of my go-tos. I think we might have even had a bit of a scallop roll. I definitely had some spicy crab rolls. So we were just kind of ordering a large variety of items. We just really wanted to try everything. And, well, I'm not going to give it away, but let's just say maybe we did try almost everything. You see me playing around my camera a little bit. I'm just trying to adjust the lighting. Not to mention, this restaurant was absolutely packed. In fact, to be blatantly honest with you, to get enough room to have my camera, I had to book a table for 3 people. Like, there literally was no seats. We had to wait. We had a reservation, and we still had to wait. Like, this place, if you've never been, is literally so busy. I would honestly bet this is one of the busiest restaurants in Toronto, and for good reason. So all of the food is great. Like, I was not expecting the sashimi and kind of, we'll say, some of the more specialty dinner items to be as good as they were. Again, I was here at lunch, and it was great. There was no complaints. However, I was very much taking into consideration that it was $15. Here for $24 at the dinner menu, it was, I think, on par. Let me take a step back. This place was exceptionally better than a few sushi restaurants I had been to, where I was paying, $25, $30 for the meal, for the supper price. About, I think, around $26, $27, $28, $30, somewhere in that $25 to $30 range, in my opinion, is a typical all-you-can-eat sushi dinner price. So for $24 here, although the variety is slightly limited, it was great.
spider roll. What's the difference between, did I get the spider roll last time, or is there something different cooked in it?
I'll be honest with you, I couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
I have no clue.
So here George tried a few more of their kind of, we'll say, specialty rolls. So again, he got the dragon roll, I believe it was, and then what they call the spider roll, which was just a very slight variant of the rainbow roll or the other one he had. He also then went with some more traditional sushi pieces. Again, kind of the salmon and the white tuna, and then also some sashimi. In both the crab variety, like there, then the tuna again, and the salmon again. And again, I was very impressed with how all of the sashimi and everything was tasting. It was definitely well worth the $24. So what I actually really enjoyed about this place on this experience was that even though it was crazy busy, how fast everything was coming. Like I started to mention earlier, the amount of covers, like the amount of people this place serves in a day is phenomenal. There's constantly a wait, they're constantly flipping tables, and they are so good at putting this food out, like so quickly. Again, full restaurant, and honestly, we were getting plates and trays, I mean, within probably 5 minutes, max 10 of ordering.
They definitely kill it.
I also have to add that, again, now maybe this is, normal. I've only been there twice. But the presentations were absolutely phenomenal as well. Like here at the dinner time, like some of the presentations on these dishes were, I would say, at par, if not like some of the best I've seen at all-you-can-eat sushi places. They were stacking everything really nicely. You just saw that beautiful array, that circle of rolls. Whereas when I was here at lunch, nothing came, I'm going to say, like nicely or like untraditionally presented. Like everything was just on a plate. But here, everything was looking really great. Not sure if that was because we had a camera or just simply because that's something they do at dinner time that comes with the higher price tag. Nonetheless, I mean, does it change the overall experience? It makes it more interesting. The only one, I'm going to say, kind of sticking point, downfall, etc. of this restaurant and of this experience was often items were, I don't know if I want to say missed, but I think downsized is the proper term. So me and George are quite big eaters. There you go. Like I just undid my pants and I undo my pants if I always need to. But we would order, let's say, I don't know, 30 pieces of sashimi and let's say, 50 rolls. On multiple occasions, we'd only get maybe like 30 of those rolls and then maybe all of the sashimi, maybe not. It's not that, and it's not even that they were necessarily missing it. So like, let's pretend we ordered some spicy salmon rolls. It's not that they were totally missing the spicy salmon rolls, but they were only giving us, I don't know, let's say 6 out of the 20 we ordered. So that was kind of odd. That was kind of weird. I mean, I'm not taking that overly seriously, and I'm not considering that a huge downfall or a huge negative. I'm not discrediting the whole experience because of that, but it was just kind of odd. So I mean, we'd have to reorder it again on the next batch. We'd have to kind of question and query whether we were actually going to receive the amount that we're ordering. So, I mean, it slowed everything down a little bit, and a little bit of ambiguity, meh. I mean, again, it didn't aid the experience, but it definitely didn't destroy it. Again, George with the fancy rolls, that was a rose salmon sushi. So it's kind of like a piece of salmon they kind of ball up, and they put some kind of I don't know, like a mayonnaise dressing in it. Really nice and light tasting as well. So if you've never had one, I definitely recommend it. I'm a big fan of both kind of the white tuna, even though some people say it's not actually tuna. Then also the salmon. I like all the tunas. I like the salmons. Those are all some of my favorite dishes. Here, George, I know at one point also got a scallop roll, which was pretty good. Wasn't bad. You kind of have to like it was a little bit more of a fishier tasting scallop, whereas generally when I have scallops, they don't taste overly fishy. It didn't taste bad, as in like, rotten or anything, but it was kind of a bit more on the fishy side, so I definitely let him more enjoy that. The kinds of fish I like are the less fishy tasting fishes, if that makes sense. You know, some fish like snapper, mackerel, etc. just have a stronger fish taste, whereas some don't, and I enjoy the ones that do not as much. I mentioned earlier we ordered some eel rolls. I didn't comment on them though. Eel rolls were great. You know, the avocado in them, also that little bit of a hoisin or whatever sauce they put on it, just kind of adds a nice barbecue flavor and aspect. They are heavier rolls, like very rich, that kind of heavy. So I always only order, let's say, maybe 2 sets of them. So that's like 12 pieces. You know, generally, maybe a few more sometimes, but only a few because they just sit very, very heavy, and I find them very, very rich. Whereas something like the salmon, something like the tuna is a lot lighter on both the stomach, on the palate, and I mean, it just makes me more comfortable. It's something I enjoy, and we weren't like purposely going hard here. We were just wanting to like enjoy the experience. So we were pretty much trying any item we wanted. At this point, it was kind of funny. A few people from the restaurant were like, "Hey, why don't you try the cooked items?" We're like, why are you saying that? And then a few minutes later, another person was like, "Oh, you should really try the cooked items." We're like, they just want us to stop eating all the sushi. But again, nonetheless, they very much were always like, "Do you want anything else? Do you need anything else?" They were very much catering to us, catering to the experience. They weren't hesitant to give us, another order form. It is a paper ordering form. They weren't hesitant to do that at all. So, I mean, again, overall, like, the staff were good. And again, the speed is amazing. As I mentioned, I had to literally get a reservation for 3 people to be able to get a seat for my camera, like my tripod. Again, that's how crazy busy this restaurant is. So definitely recommend going if you get the opportunity. The all-you-can-eat is available all day. They're open something, I don't know, let's say like 11 a.m. until something like 10 p.m., which you can go at any time. I believe it's before 5 o'clock, actually. It's either 4 or 5 o'clock, which is late, a lot later than a lot of other all-you-can-eat restaurants. So if you go before 4 or 5 p.m., it is the all-you-can-eat lunch price, which is $16. If you go after that, you do get a more expansive menu, and it is $24. But again, like, totally reasonable. George was specifically saying he lives in Pennsylvania, and he's quite close to New York. So he's just saying his experiences going out for sushi in New York at, a normal restaurant, but it's the same if you go to a normal sushi restaurant here in Toronto as well. You're paying like $10 per roll. Yeah, the quality may be a little better, the presentation damn better, but I mean, the presentation here was actually really good. And I mean, for the amount we ate, there's that spicy scallop roll I mentioned earlier. For the amount we ate, we definitely got our money's worth. In fact, we were doing the tallies, and if we were going to order everything off their menu that we had eaten, it was like over $400. In fact, if you're paying it again like per item, probably, I would even say after tax and tip, it'd probably be like $500, maybe even more. So I would say we definitely got our money's worth in that regard. I forget what this roll was, some kind of salmon roll. I think a spicy or crispy salmon roll, and they kind of made it look, again, like decorating the plate. They had these rolls looking like, I don't know, little boats or like raindrops or whatever you want to call it. So again, just like everything was super cool. So this video is played at a slight increase of speed, like the majority, like right now. This is about like 1.6, 1.7 times. So not even, double of the actual speed we're going on. We're coming near the end here. Just ordered a couple more sushi pieces. George got another one of his fancy rolls. That's what he was really digging. He was really digging those fancy rolls. I was really digging my usual favorites, again, kind of the spicy salmon items. Also the salmon and tuna sushis. The sashimis actually, again, were really great. I've had sashimi a number of times at a number of different restaurants, and I've definitely had worse. If you want to actually watch one of my videos where I go to a horrible sushi place and have an absolutely horrible sushi experience, you can do that. I'll put the link down below or in a card or something. So yeah, you want to watch a horrible experience, go there. You want to watch a good experience, definitely come here. Again, super great. The lighting in this video is a little off. The lights behind us were kind of weird, but again, we just kind of made do with what we could. Very thankful there was even room for us to put my camera, to even get a seat, especially because this was a like Friday night. I want to say it was maybe like 8 p.m. and they were, like I said, they were just packed.
My battery life.
Can't really tilt it that much.
How is it? We get another.
Yeah. Very good.
Thank you.
No problem.
So you just saw the order form, and like I said, there was definitely a good number of options. There were kind of some items that I've had at other all-you-can-eat supper, like dinner times, that weren't there. But again, I mean, that's probably the difference between the $29, the $30 price tag, and the $24 price tag. So again, overall, this restaurant, it's just kind of like simplistic. A lot of the items, and they have both the sushis, both the sashimis, both the rolls. It's just very, very simple. So don't maybe expect the most extravagant array of, let's say, tempura items, most extravagant array of cooked items, most extravagant array of kind of interesting, unique combinations of different rolls and stuff. But if you want just straight up great sushi at a very, very reasonable price, in fact the cheapest in Toronto, 100% would recommend. So overall experience, this place literally gets like a 9 out of 10. The only reason why it's not getting a 10 out of 10 is because they, again, kind of that downsizing like a number of our orders. So that's the only real reason. But 9 out of 10, Kyoto House, down basically at Yonge and Dundas Square on Dundas Street. Definitely would recommend. Go check that place out. And everybody, till next time, happy eating.